Alright, so we got shoulders today, a little bit of chest and triceps. Before we get in there, I'm going to go over, I guess not training splits, but just like muscle groups, hitting them, how much, frequency, volume, pretty much all the above. What should you be doing? First off, let me just go over shoulders first, because that's what we're hitting today. If you don't have shoulders in any of your training split directly, because they get hit indirectly from your chest exercises, your back exercises, like you're counting that your front delt gets hit enough because of your chest movements, and your rear delt gets hit enough from a lot of your back movements. I'm going to say that chances are your shoulders are not going to grow how you want them to, just because of hitting them indirectly. If you want a muscle group to grow, you have to hit it directly. I think the only exception I could give to that is forearms, and that's if you don't use wrist straps for every singular possible pulling movement in the world, and bicep curl. Then you would have to do like forearm exercises. But if you don't really use straps that much, you really don't have to hit forearms. That's the only exception I can think of like if you want something to grow, have to hit directly. And why do you say forearms? I mean, sometimes we just gotta use our own anecdotal evidence here of just like, look at the people that are good physiques, look at what they do, and see over how many people that they have done the same thing, and we can make a conclusion out of that. And conclusion, you don't gotta go crazy on forearms. So that rolls me in the next segment about if you think like you need some specific 2 sets of 8 per muscle for exercise per muscle group for optimal growth, you're fucking fooling yourself. Like, in all honesty, I'm here to help you, not to feed you bullshit. Think your body knows that you hit this specific exercise for 2 sets of 8 reps? No. It just knows if you like stress the fuck out of the muscle that it has to respond to it and grow. And by no means is like a certain set there's no means by a specific set and rep makes something like perfect. If somebody tells you this is like the perfect split or the perfect amount of sets per exercise or the perfect amount of reps, they're lying. It's because there is no perfect. There's a range that makes it relatively good. At the end of the day, there's not some specific thing that you have to be doing. Why? Or how do I know? Put 10 different professionals together, professional bodybuilders together, and side by side, and have them list off their training routine, diet, all the above, and all 10 out of 10 of them will have different routines. Same general scheme. Of course, they all work out and they all have like a split of like, they may have two guys might have a push-pull leg split. Very similar routines, but nobody has the exact same shit. Why? Because there's no perfect workout. And that includes there's no perfect amount of sets per muscle group. I now do 4 sets per muscle, and then just do less exercises. A couple of reasons. One, it's easier to not have to do 8 different. I take 8 different machines just to get 2 sets on each of them. 2, usually the first set on an exercise that you do is usually not as hard as you could have gone. A couple reasons. One, if I'm just about to start today, the first set, I think we all can agree that it's usually not the hardest set it could have been. Usually, once your muscles pumped up, you get into the workout, get in the exercise, then the sets can come pretty tough. But really hitting failure off a first set is pretty tough. So that's why it's 4 sets and not 3. And also, another aspect is the volume side of it, of being able to get enough sets of volume in a split. This, I'll explain intensity as well, but just let me talk about volume first. Regardless of how intense your exercises are and your sets are, you still need a sufficient amount of volume for a muscle group. Because look, what do we need to grow? We need, progressive overload, time under tension, and then how much of each of those. That's the most broad statement I can make. So progressive overload is just making sure you train as hard as you can every single time you go in the gym. And if you are tracking your calories and you are consistently gaining body weight week to week by using the scale in the morning, tracking your weight, checking your calories above maintenance, you know you're growing. By definition, we do not need to be concerned about the exact weight on the bar or how many reps we got exactly, and then seeing if we got one more than last week. Because if we know if our body weight's going up, we can tell in the mirror that we can see a visible difference gaining. Our workouts are really good because we're filled out from the food. By definition, we are going to be growing regardless of that extra rep. And by trying to track that extra tiny rep or the extra 2.5 pound plate, you're usually screwing yourself because you're in your head mentally thinking you have to get one more. And you either make the set super quick, which less time under tension, just so you can check that box saying, hey, I got one more rep. Or you don't get one more rep and you think that you're plateauing, when in reality it's just that you were able to control that set a little longer and you got the same amount of reps. So it's definitely like a rabbit hole of thinking you plateau and trying to figure out what's wrong. But that primarily happens from tracking just your reps in the gym, the weight, the progressive overload, and these 2 sets, 8 reps. It's like you are setting yourself up to get plateaued for a fucking year. How do I know that? That happened to me for a year. More than a year. Fucking 2 years. Why? Because I listen to people online trying to tell me about some optimal bullshit. I'm all for being optimal, but I'm also about actually using stuff that's legitimate and not for views and for I don't know, clicks, comments, whatever, online. So I don't even know the up-to-date shit on the fitness stuff on TikTok, because quite honestly I stopped watching it and I finally got it out of my feed because of how much BS there is. There's a lot of great stuff, but there's more BS, and you see more of the BS because that's what gets views. Because people comment, ask, curious. People are curious. People are upset because they know it's BS. They comment. It just builds the views up. So that's my spiel on it. And as I was saying about the volume for your exercise, I just went over the progressive overload side. The time under tension, literally more sets is more time under tension. Right? More sets, more time under tension. And then part of it is also actually getting a full pump in the muscle you're hitting. And look, if you go in and do chest or something, and you're doing, let's say I don't know, some incline dumbbell for 2 sets of 8, and then you do pec fly for 2 sets of 8, that's your chest workout. As much as you may think your chest is fully pumped, I can promise you it is not. As much as you'd be like, holy shit, my chest is pumped as hell, I guarantee it can be more. And why do we want more? Because that causes the growth in your muscle, dude. That stimulus of all the blood flow driven into your muscle cells, or into your muscle, is another piece of what helps with the growth. Right? And then when it's recovering and you eat the food, your body uses that food and drives it into the muscle cells to recover. All the above. That happens from the pump as well. Right? So hopefully that makes more sense. And by doing just 2 sets of 8 on shit. Ain't gonna happen. And also the same thing, if you only do sets of like 6 to 8 reps or like 4 to 7 reps just because like you want to quote unquote minimize fatigue, bullshit. And you don't want to have what's it called? What's it called? Like, not fake reps. Junk volume. Yeah, that was it. Like junk volume, because you think like, oh, I did 12 reps. I could have just done 5 reps and had all of them that are close to failure. It's like, no, dude. You're trying to get something different. It's a different goal here. You're trying to get a full pump in the muscle. 2 different objectives. Yes, we're going to failure. You will see I'm going to failure in every single one of my sets today. But I'm also trying to get a freaking pump in the muscle. So you'll see some of my sets are like 10 to 15 reps. 4 sets. Why? Just told you now. So I think people miss that because they're trying to be all optimal, Mr. Optimal. And I'm all for being optimal, but I'm not all for the TikTok fitness propaganda that makes you think you're being smart about your workouts, but in reality, they posted it just to get more views. All right? Not everybody on the TikTok is actually trying to help you. Newsflash. I am. So I guess it's hypocritical for me to... Nah, that's not hypocritical. It's, I don't even call it ironic. Whatever. Not making fun of, or me commenting on people that are trying to help online, and I'm doing the same shit, but... I make this out of actually trying to help, not get views. So, big difference. If you found this channel before I have like a big following, then there's your proof. We're here. Shoulders, I'll start off with some lateral raises, shoulder press. What else? More lateral raises. I guess I could do like upright rows or some shit. I don't really care enough from upright rows, to be honest. Maybe I will do that today. I don't know. I think it's just a pain because I have a problem. My shoulders. I always like lift kind of unevenly sometimes with my shoulders. When you do an upright row, it kind of causes me to turn my shoulders uneven. So I think that's why I stopped doing them. But anyway, some type of lateral raise, rear delt fly, chest I'll superset like a pec fly with push-ups. Yeah, again, more intense, more blood flow, and then triceps. Couple of exercises of triceps, 4 sets each, and skull crusher with some type of reverse tricep pushdown. Sounds like a lot, but if I get to it, it won't be that long because I got a couple of those are supersets, so it makes it much quicker. So, all right, enough yapping. 4:30 on a Tuesday. I will see you guys in there. Busy gym. All right, finished warming up. Dude, honestly, it just depends on what muscle group I'm hitting. If I need to do like a whole routine warming up or not. Like, dude, if I'm hitting quads or something, I'm doing like squatting or leg press. I'll do like 4 warm-up sets or some shit. But shoulders, dude, I did like 1 set with about like half the weight I'm using right now, or I'm about to use. Did like a set of 12. And I'm like, I'm good to go. I'm not too concerned about just pulling my shoulder for lateral raises. I don't think I've ever met anybody that's torn their shoulder, so. Maybe the tendon or some shit, but not like your muscle. But anyways, I'm starting out with lateral raises just because, I'm not sure this is on. Just because once I go into like a pressing movement, like a shoulder press, my shoulders are for sure going to be the first thing I give out. And honestly, don't hate on it until you try it. Isolating a muscle group first before going into the compound movement, so much different, like night and day. If I started my shoulder day with shoulder press, quite honestly, I don't feel my shoulders that much. But doing lateral raises first, including what I said before with like high volume and higher reps, mainly looking just to get a pump, it's so much more on my shoulders when I go into a press movement. So, Alright, let's get this going. I'll move this. Normally use something different, like a. Why is this so? There we go. I look pale as hell. Anyways, normally use like a plate load shoulder press, but like I said, I'm trying to get this done in a reasonable amount of time, so I don't mind using something in the machine with the cable. Do I really want to be doing a press movement with the cable? Not really, but I'd rather do that than wait 20 minutes for a machine to open up, especially working out at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday. So yeah, I guess that also plays into what I said before, with all trying to like optimize everything, like 2 sets of 8 of everything, and trying to minimize fatigue. At some point,
one, just getting the workout in, and two, not overanalyzing everything. It's honestly more beneficial. Because, dude, when I said I was in like that year-long plateau, one, I was doing like 2 sets of 8 everything. 2, I was tracking every single weight and rep I was doing. And 3, I'd make sure I did the exact same machine each time I came back into the gym in the same order. So I had to make sure I was doing like exactly 1 more rep on this machine, exactly 2.5 pounds more on this machine, same amount of reps. And like, dude, you're just setting yourself up to plateau if the only way you're tracking your progress is through getting 1 more rep or another quarter or a 2.5 pound plate on the same exact machine. Because really, you have to, 1, track your calories, make sure you're being in a surplus. 2, tracking your body weight week to week in the morning to know that your body weight's actually going up. And if you actually feel filled out from all the food during your workouts, if all 3 of those boxes are checked and you just train as hard as you can every time you come to the gym, I can guarantee you're growing and you're progressing in weight and reps without having to track it every single time. So I say that because that's a mistake I made for a couple of years of just only tracking the weight I was pressing and the reps I was doing as my form of progress, because you may think you plateaued, but you didn't really plateau. You're growing. You may have just done the set longer or was able to control it more with the same amount of reps. Like, it's still progression, so. All right, let's get this going. Alright. Last thing for shoulders is just a superset lateral raises with a rear delt fly. Why the superset? So I can get this workout done in a reasonable amount of time. Also hitting rear delt right after doing a lateral raise, way easier to actually feel it in your rear delt and activate it. At least the feeling part of actually getting a bump in it. Also, I like using just like a 10-pound dumbbell way better than, let me grab this, way better than doing on like a pec fly. Because it's way less likely that I'm hitting like my traps and the rest of my back. Why? Because of the amount of weight I'm using. If you can do like a 140-pound rear delt fly on a pec fly machine, do you really think you're doing 70 pounds? You really think this muscle right here is pulling 70 pounds? Like think of using a 70-pound dumbbell doing this. You're not using just your rear delt. It's mainly your traps, a little bit of rear delt maybe. So using like a 10-pound dumbbell right now and swinging as far as I can, 10 pounds is way more reasonable than I'm actually hitting this tiny muscle group. And also you actually feel a pump inside your rear delt. I definitely never get that from doing it with a pec fly machine. So yeah, those are 2 reasons. And then we'll finish up the rest of the lift. All right. Another superset. Just this time it'll be fly, and I'll superset with like push-ups on the ground. Ideally like a machine to superset it with, but a chest press machine is on the other side of the gym, and I'm not going to be running back and forth just to do a superset. A lot easier just to do push-ups next to this machine. Also because chest isn't the main thing I'm hitting today, I'm not overly concerned about getting like a plate loaded machine doing I don't know, like a controlled 12 reps or something on a machine, like isolateral, whatever. Just honestly just looking to get a pump in both chest and tri, because it's not the main thing I'm hitting today. Which superset helps with ton, because I just add up however many reps I get on both of these. So if I get like 12 reps on, 12 like 15 on the fly, and then I get like 8 push-ups, I do this like a 20 rep set. It's plenty to get enough of blood flow in my muscle with only doing like 4 sets. I just say it's sufficient, the fact that it's not the main thing I'm hitting. I used to do like equal amounts of like volume for each of the muscles for both my push days, but then just like the amount I was fatigued overlapped. And I knew it wasn't like a diet issue or sleep issue or anything else, because everything else I do is on point. If you track everything, when there's a problem with either your sleep or lifting or weight, everything's tracked. You know exactly what the problem is. So it's definitely one of the biggest issues if you're not tracking everything. As soon as a problem comes up, there could be like 10 different reasons why. So anyways, let's keep it going.
Try this. Try one like this. Straight out. And then down, all the way down. So look at ours. Here. All the way down. Now you're laughing. Here we go. Let's see it. Come on. Go. Make 3 more. Come on. Come on. Come on. go? Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Yeah, right here, right? Same now. Why don't we sit targeting So how does that weight look? You feel you can do more? Or are you going to run it that way? Be honest.
Moisturizer, my skin.
Only that.
There you go. Only the ones that are.
Fuck yeah.
You want another one? Four, fuck it. Let's see how many I can
That's right.
You gotta drop the weight.
Took a week and a half. So anyone's got 20 stuff on the car, you're taking fucking up more.
I was gonna do like a reverse push down, but the machine I was gonna use for that was taken, so I didn't mind using this. I could have done, or I could still do, like a single arm like this, but I don't know, dude. I've been talking with my friends in here, so the workout's been like 2 hours now, so I don't feel like going back and forth, arm in arm, just to get this last exercise in before abs and posing. So I'm not overly concerned. If I was like 2 weeks out from a show, maybe trying to get the under part of like the sweep of my tricep hit before show. Other than that, right now, not concerned. I just might get pizza after this or something. Got a cheat meal this week. All right. All right, let's check it out. I don't know, dude. I don't know if I want a cheat meal today. And if I do, I don't know where I want to go. Last week, I was going to get this place that's similar to Crumble, but they permanently closed, and they were right next to my apartment. What the fuck? Like, I was at the end of my workout, in the car, plugging it in before I started filming. This is a week ago. And try to get like the fastest directions there. Red letters, permanently closed. Called it, number doesn't work. What the fuck? I guess my $12 for 2 cookies wasn't paying the rent there, paying the lease. Whoops. Should have charged me $50. I just got Five Guys instead. Dude, I'm getting not sick of Five Guys, but sick of Five Guys. I've been getting Five Guys once a week. I might get Little Caesars. I don't know, dude. Pizza feels like I want to throw up. Dude, I want to get like Wingstop or something. 20 wings and like fries. But I feel like a grease ball after that. I don't know. Sushi's always a go-to, but unless I'm doing all-you-can-eat sushi, I'm not doing $21 for 3 sushi rolls to half fill me up. I'd end up paying $50 just to be full. Where I can spend $35 at an all-you-can-eat sushi and eat till I throw up, and then get cheesecake after it because they got dessert. So, I don't know. I guess let me know what your go-to cheat meal is. Post-workout. Don't say Chipotle. I don't want to hear it. Like an actual cheat meal. Don't say like, oh, a steak or something from a nice place or Subway or just something good. Because I'm going to think about it while I'm posing if I want to go somewhere. All right. Dude, what else is there? Like drop down or something. Can you even see me from down here? I guess so, maybe. I was thinking about doing this on stage and I competed for like my individual routine, but I didn't want to feel like a dummy falling over trying to do this, my first show. I didn't have the confidence yet. Ow! And also my knees are killing me. Alright, we'll call it there. Dude, holy leading ball. Kidding me? This is 220. Definitely not shredded, but I'll be damned if this isn't called lean. I'd say it's lean. Yeah, dude, I'm 30 pounds up from show, which is normal because it's been 5 months. It's been like almost half a year. But 30 pounds up and also still pretty lean, just solid. If I had to guess, if I competed right now, or not right now, if I prep for a show right now, I would probably be probably 7 pounds heavier than what I was for show. So I'd probably like 197 stage weight, which means I gained probably like 7 pounds of lean mass over the past 5 months, which is a lot. Is a lot. I mean, realistically, you only gain about like 10 a year. I wouldn't even say that's average. I'd say like, if you're really pushing everything right, 10 a year. That's just the bonus of doing a prep. Because I mean, think about the 4 months that I spent cutting was taken away from my year. So it's kind of like a supercharged bulk, being that lean and shredded and properly bulking out of it. Your body really wants to put on some weight. So, but I'm gonna call it there. Get in the car, talk about if I think of something to get to eat, and about the workout and life. So, all right, see you in there.
All right. I just talked with my buddy for probably half hour. I'm actually gonna go over that in this car ride because I think it's a question a lot of people have. But before I go over that, I wanted to mention that I just downed this liter of water. Why? Because I'm probably gonna down an entire pizza, and I'd like to be hydrated after my workout from how much sodium my meal is gonna have. So I wanted to stay hydrated after my workout because I know it's gonna be a calorie bomb. 1, 2, regardless of what cheat meal I have, it's all gonna have a bunch of salt. So stay hydrated. All right. I want to talk about what my buddy asked me. He asked about the main gaining of like, why can't you just main gain your weight of more muscle for just an extended period of time and not gain any fat, instead of like bulking. So I'll go over that. First thing I want to clarify is there's like a common misconception about bulking, thinking that if you're not slapping on fat and if you're not gaining 4 pounds a week, you're not bulking. It's like, dude, there's a middle ground between not gaining weight and just eating like shit. All right, pound a week, gaining a pound a week, small surplus. Not small as in like 5 calories, small as in like 500. That's a small surplus. That's a regular surplus, I should say. put on way more muscle than fat. Let me think of some of the couple main points I put on or said. Because, dude, I could talk about it for like an hour like I did. So I'm going to tell you just the key points I can say within like 10 minutes. So it makes a little more sense. And I'm sure you're going to have even more questions about it. But the guy that main gains versus the guy that like does a proper bulk and cut, somebody who main gains will take about 10 years to get the same progress muscle wise and like just body composition wise as the guy that properly bulks and cuts for like a year and a half, I'd say, maybe even 2 years tops. So that is a ginormous difference. And I'd say maybe it's not even possible for the guy that main gains for 10 years to get even the same amount as the guy in 2 years. In all honesty. Because the only thing that really happens at maintenance, and this is if you track eating the exact same thing so you know it's truly maintenance, is your body does a small recomposition, meaning that same body weight, different muscle to fat ratio on your body. A little bit more muscle, a little bit less fat. And your body does that from just like the daily calorie fluctuations that it has with how much it burns, which is how your body is some days doing a little bit less calorie burn than you ate, so you gain a little bit more muscle, maybe tiny bit. I'm talking fucking tiny, like negligible. And then some days you maybe like walked an extra mile or something, so you burned a little more than you ate, so you burn a tiny bit of fat. And your body can do those slight fluctuations to have a little bit better of a recomposition. But because you're eating the exact same amount of food that you are burning in a day, give or take maybe 50 calories or something, by definition, you are going to stay the same weight. That is how it works. Same weight. So there's only so far they can take you, because your body will only be willing to recomp for so long to where it can optimize itself for maintenance. Because by no means is it even possible to get like show ready at maintenance or get huge off of maintenance. It's just not how it works. It's not, by definition, it's not how it works. And I think the question mainly comes from not wanting to bulk, or not willing to gain a very small amount of fat for bulking. It's because you want the result, if you want the muscle without the fat, which don't we all? But by doing so, you take away from actually getting results because you want both at the same time. You can absolutely put on a significant amount of muscle with a very small amount of fat, but not no fat, right? And you can also get super shredded with losing you can actually get shredded with losing damn near no muscle. Maybe a tiny bit, but almost zero muscle lost. So it goes both ways. But it comes with the adjusting your diet, bulking and cutting, based off of how your body is responding. This is why, the main reason why it's so talked about and like there's no concrete answers, because there is no one size fits all for everything in fitness. There's so many different variations between bodies and like their utilizing the food, the metabolism, what your body wants to do, the state it's in. So many different fluctuations with it that are just variables that is why there is never a one size fits all, like, oh, eat this exact amount, then eat this, then eat that. Which is why like bodybuilders have check-ins with their coach weekly to see how their body's responding, their metabolism, how their body's utilizing the food, how much muscle to fat are they putting on, how much weight did you gain weekly, where's your metabolism at, calorie-wise. So there's all these different variables. which is why we use those to put on the most amount of muscle with the least amount of fat given your body. But that doesn't happen by eating at maintenance and main gaining. It happens with a proper coach that knows what he's doing and knows how to observe your body. And that doesn't happen from, or the main gaining doesn't, I don't want to repeat myself, but I know a lot of people, and I'm sure you may know some, that have been working out for 15 years, maybe even longer, and look the same. The exact fucking same for years. You want to know what they're doing? Eating at maintenance. Eating the same. Because they look the same. Promise they are. They probably don't even track their food. And your body does a really, really, really good job at eating at maintenance. Why does your body do a really good job eating at maintenance when you don't think about the amount of calories you're eating? Because your body wants to stay at homeostasis. It wants to stay the same. Your body doesn't want to change. Your body doesn't want to grow. Your body doesn't want to change its weight up and down. Why? Because it costs energy. It wants to conserve its energy. It takes energy to build muscle. It takes energy, it doesn't want to lose fat. It wants to have it because it's survival mode. It wants to be able to survive. The fat keeps it safe. It feels like it has food in reserve. It wants to stay at homeostasis, meaning it wants to just stay the same, where it feels safe. So yeah, the point being made is that's why some people that will work out for years, not track their diet, I'd consider that main gaining. They look the same. That's what your body wants to do. So the recomp is really only used of like just the eating at maintenance. And with that being said, eating at maintenance is also eating the exact same thing every single day. Because there is fluctuations if you just do like if it fits your macros. There's such big fluctuations with not big fluctuations, but there's fluctuations with like the food you eat with trace nutrients that it kind of defeats the whole purpose of the recomp. Is because like how I told you, there's slight variance within how much you burn in a day. Well, it defeats the purpose if there's slight variance and also with how much you eat in a day. Because if they're both varying, then it might just be varying together or in opposite directions. And then you don't know what's going on with your body at that point. You need as many variables in check to know what's exactly going on and be able to pinpoint what's going on. And also you can have your actual macros in check so your body can utilize the food properly, the macros properly, to be able to recomp right. Okay? Proper amount of protein, the amount of carbs, be able to fuel the workout, still get a good workout in while recomping, and be able to lose a little bit of fat while still having adequate protein to not lose muscle. While as the days you have burn a little less calories, you have a little bit more carb for more anti-catabolic. So there's a lot that goes into it. But by no means are you going to main gain your way to your desired physique. So that's something I wanted to point out, because I had that question a couple years ago, 3 years ago maybe, and it took some time to wrap my head around it to understand how it actually works. So yeah, I gotta pick up some groceries. I'm thinking about getting a pizza. Pizza sounds fire. Why am I getting a pizza after I just talked about that? Once a week I just have a pizza, or not a pizza, once a week I just have a cheat meal. A couple reasons. One, I'm able to top off my glycogen stores, basically top off my cells to be filled out with the food. Body likes that. And it's a more dense meal when you have a cheat meal. It's a lot of calories with a small amount of volume of food. So it gives my digestion a break for a day. And those are like the two main ones. And also like the psychological part of it. It's a way to enjoy when you're eating the exact same thing every day, when it's healthy foods. Sure, you can mix up the sauces I eat with the foods, make it a little different here and there, but like, part of it is still being able to enjoy life. If a friend, girlfriend, family wants to go out to eat or something, you don't have to sweat over it because you've been having a cheat meal once a week, so you know how your body's responding. And it's not out of the ordinary, so you can still live still have your progress week to week. And your diet is already accustomed to you having the cheat meal. So it's not throwing much off because you're already accounting for the cheat meal when you have one weekly. And no, not just because you eat some junk food or a cheat meal does it mean that it just turns into fat or some shit. That's not how it works. So yeah, those are some I wanted to point out. I'm at Walmart. I gotta get my shit. A couple things. Pizza. I'm probably gonna get pizza. So assume that I'm gonna eat an entire Little Caesars pizza in one sitting. All right. Appreciate y'all watching. Tomorrow we got back day. A little bit of biceps. Then quads. Then rest, then chest, then biceps, then hamstrings, then rest. Then we're back to here, shoulders. On and on and on. Yeah, I won't hold you any longer. Appreciate y'all watching. You got any questions, let me know. Drop in the comment. I'll make a video about it. Peace.